ahead. Mike, the call is yours, my friend.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Jason, you are not only very good looking, very good as a host, and also a pretty awesome networker. Jason, you know, the stars came out tonight. You got Jason Boreyko, Phil Franklin, Lavelle. I've heard others on. I'll forget most of that, but I love every one of you. Todd and I go back a ways, both Italian, both can relate to that. But 15 years in the trading business, 30 countries, wrote the book Fearless Networker, and he understands the science of what we do. He's been there, done that. And I always want to bring you the best content, the best you can be. And I'm learning. I got notes I'm going to take to you today, Lavelle, because we're going to give me something to take to you. And all this is copy the leader. So you know what, folks? You're in for a treat today. Get your notepad out. We'll record this for you. But let's give it away to one of the best trainers ever in the MLM industry, Mr. Todd Falcone. Take it away.
Mr. Accurso, my Pazan friend. How you doing? Great to be here. Good to be with all of you. Jason, great to see you as well. I know we met probably 20 plus years ago as well. So a couple of us have known each other for a very long time. And those that I don't know, what's up? Good to see you guys. Happy Saturday to you. Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you might be. Super excited to be here with you. For those of you that are not familiar with me, 30 years in the network marketing profession, actually be 31 coming up in August. Last 15 years been speaking and training full-time around the world. I've spoken in, I think 30 countries now. And now I'm doing a lot of speaking at home. So kind of a crazy time that we're in. I actually want to kind of cover that a little bit as far as like, what do you do? I know that when I first started in this profession, I got excited about it. I was introduced to it out of the blue. Had never heard of network marketing. I started network marketing right out of college. I was going to what I thought was a job interview, and ultimately it was a business opportunity meeting. And I was so naive, I didn't even know I was in a business opportunity meeting. That's how like green I was. I was like, "Where's the boss? Where's the guy I'm supposed to shake his hand? Why are all these other people in here? There's too much competition." And then some guys started talking up on the front of the room, and the rest is history. I've been in this game for 30 years. By the way, just so you know, not in and out. I have been fully engulfed every single day of my life for the last 30 years. So I know some people come in, they disappear for a while, come back. I mean, every single day, my life has been living in the network marketing profession. So I say that because I didn't just read a book one day and decide I want to become a network marketing speaker. There's plenty of those dudes out there that just like, they want to be speakers and coaches and teach something that they've never actually done, which I think is kind of weird. Like, oh yeah, I want to teach you how to do network marketing. Well, have you ever made any money in it? Nope. But you want to teach me how to do it? Yeah, that's kind of weird. So and I'm not going to go into my whole background. I mean, I built 6 different companies to the top of the pay plan. I'm not going to go into the whole history. I mean, I wish it was 1, but it ended up being 6. And I'm grateful for that because it forced me to work on my skills. It forced me to understand this business model. It forced me to step up my game in a way that, it was just necessary. I mean, I unfortunately had some situation with owners that, things went sideways and I had to go build again. But the beautiful thing is, you guys are all in a business that contains the mechanics of wealth, leverage, and it's just an amazing thing. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know your background. I don't know how long you've been in the space, but for those of you that are newer, you guys are in an amazing profession. And right now, by the way, let's talk about So I've done, this is actually Zoom 71 in the last 2.5 weeks, 71 Zooms. I did one day last week. It was like 10 hours of Zoom training. So kind of put myself out there to do a bunch of trainings for different organizations, and people came out of the woodwork. And so I've been doing quite a few trainings because this thing that we're still facing to the, like we're in the middle of, or hope, I don't know if we're in the middle, the end, the beginning. I don't know. We're in a weird zone at the moment. And there have been people asking me questions like, how do I build during this time frame? Do I build? Is it insensitive of me to go, talk to people about making money from home? I mean, to me, it's like insensitive not for you not to. Like, think about this for a second, right? Like, there's this awakening that has been taking place over the last month and a half. And that awakening is like, think about how many people, even who had really good jobs, who have been there for many years, Now they're sitting at home going, I don't even know if my company is going to be around. I don't know if my business is going to be around. Is it going to be around? Is my job going to be around when this is all said and done? And so they're sitting at home going, what the heck am I going to do? And like literally, like if they're religious folks, they're like praying to God, please bring me an opportunity, bring me a sign, bring me something. If they're not religious, they're like, just bring me a sign, bring me something, because I got to figure out how to feed my kids and what I'm going to do with my financial future. And see, we're all here blessed to be, in the know about the network marketing profession and know that there is a better way, and that that you can truly build a business from home that doesn't rely on you having to go out there. I know we all want to go out there again. I know we all want to not have to wear a mask and go to restaurants and concerts and things and the gym or whatever. We all want to go back to, the way it was. But what's interesting right now, the last few years I have done, I don't, but just so you know, like when I go speak someplace, I don't just run in the last minute and do my thing and then leave. That's just not my style. There's other people that do that. They run in the day that they're speaking, do their thing, and then they split. I'll show up like the previous day, the day before I'm going to speak, and watch the other speakers and listen and sit in the audience and take notes. I'm always still learning. And, I typically like to hang out. And I've been to a bunch of events over the last few years where people talk about the gig economy, and that being like a competition. It's interesting. It's been like network marketing, like the gig economy, things like Uber, Lyft, Airbnb are some of the things that we think about typically when we think about gig economy, where I can go, do a little side hustle, make some extra cash. And it's been, in some conversations, people have said like Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, well, that's competition to network marketing. And then some people refer to to network marketing being really the ultimate gig economy. In fact, I don't know where that magazine went. I had a magazine. Oh, here it is. So this magazine actually just came out. It's called The Ultimate Gig Economy, or Welcome to the Ultimate Gig Economy. And what's interesting is, I don't know about you guys, but I typically, when I'm, I travel around the world and I Uber everywhere, right? If I Uber from the airport to this place to that place, and I haven't been in an Uber in almost 2 months. So even those things that were potentially, quote, competitors to, or a choice that somebody could have, I could hop in my rig and go drive people around, make some money. That's out of business right now. And my friend, I was actually supposed to be at her house like 2 weeks ago to visit. We didn't travel because, whatever, travel restrictions. And she has 2 Airbnbs at her house. She got a room and then another house. And she's like at 98% cancellation. So what was a really good income stream for her is pretty much zero. So I have racked my brain left and right and sideways over the past month and a half going, what else is there? Like, what else is there for someone to do where they can plug and play and go? And like, think about it. So all these people, like most of the planet right now is stuck at home. And those of us that are, network marketers, we're stuck at home going, well, nothing really has changed all that much other than the fact that I can't go dine at my favorite restaurant or whatever. But I mean, it's truly a home-based or phone-based business, right? You can do it from anywhere. But most of the world is sitting at home going, what am I going to do? And, I mean, if you got like, you can't really feel my hands, but if you could feel my hands are very soft. I work at home. My wife calls me the not so handyman because I'm not very handy. Like, I have a handyman to do stuff because I'm not so handy. Like, I got to have a new lamp or light hung downstairs, and I haven't hung it because I don't want to hang it, and I pay people to do that, and I don't want to shock myself anyhow. So I share that with you because, like, if you were a handyman, if you're handy with your hands or something, you could probably be at home trying to figure out a way to hustle. And okay, that's maybe not what you did before, but you can maybe make some extra money and figure out a way to feed your family. But for most people who don't have some specific skill set, they're like they're amazing at this, or they're creative at this, or they can fix things or whatever. What are they doing? They're stuck. And how selfish of us to get caught up in our own stuff and not take the biggest action that we've ever taken in our entire lives right now. Like, I get it. Like, this is weird. We're well into it. I mean, we're easily a month into this like lockdown thing. And, you turn on the news and every day still, like, the news and the news feed is just negative. Like, the news is typically always negative, but like, I'm not saying you don't want to be kept abreast of what's happening and when and where, whatever. But here's the deal. From this point forward, I don't know what your habit is, but I know a lot of people have gotten sucked into the couch and they're just like, oh my gosh, COVID all day long. The doom and gloom, the world's ending. And it's like, that's not helping you. You get 30 minutes a day of news max, and then you're done. I mean, if you need to keep updated on what's opening and what's happening and what's the latest or whatever, fine. You get 30 minutes, that's it. Because if you spend any more time than that, it's just a rinse and recycle and repeat of negativity. That's not helping this. Because this is like the network marketing business is a mindset game. It's a confidence game. And I don't see how sitting on your couch watching, COVID-19 all day long is helping out your confidence related to building this business. So question is like, how do like, if you're here, like, it's great. I appreciate you guys being here on a Saturday. That shows me something. It shows me that you have this desire, the desire to figure it out, this desire to learn. When I started in network marketing, I was super hungry, like literally and figuratively, right? Started out of college, no money, no savings. And I was hungry to earn. And like if I was building a business now, there would be 3 qualifications that I would have in order for you to work with me. And you might want to write these down. Number 1, you got to have the desire to change. Like I can't make you have the desire. That's something that somebody has to have. That's their thing. Like I can't give you the desire to change. You have to like go, hey, this is where I am. I'm not satisfied with where I am. I want to go there, wherever there is. And I want to change. So that hunger or that desire is number 1. Number 2 is coachable. Are you willing to follow instructions? Are you willing to follow guidance and direction? That's super important. And number 3 is the willingness to initiate. So if you got all 3 of those things, that's perfect. Desire, coachability, and the willingness to initiate, the willingness to step forward. And I've been successful in network marketing because, I just had all those things. And I had a desire to have a better life. I was hungry, literally, like I said, literally and figuratively. I didn't know anything about network marketing. So who am I to try to reinvent the wheel? I'm like, oh, well, if you've done this, well, I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to follow your guideline. It's like, why do we listen to broke people? Why would you ever take the opinion of somebody that's never done this before? People love to give us their opinions. Oh yeah, that's one of those things, or, whatever. Your Aunt Mabel tried that, one of those things that didn't work for her. It's not going to work. Or I love the ones when they go, oh, only the people at the top make the money. I'm like, are you serious? Because you clearly don't understand network marketing. If you really think that, then you absolutely don't have a clue about what network marketing really is. Because I've had people in my organizations far out earn me, which is a beautiful thing. And I just like the fact that you're here, the fact that you are in an amazing company that has great product technology, which you have it. And you have what is really the only viable option right now. Like you tell me, you think when we're done here, you think to yourself, I want you to rack your brain like I did and go, you tell me what else is there? What else is there out there right now for somebody who is stuck at home, who doesn't have a specific skill set in a particular area where they can just plug into a business and go? Now, somebody can come home and they can think of some business idea. Then they got to, come up with the name. Then they got to get the attorneys, and they got to come up with a marketing plan. Then they got to figure out how to manufacture a product. Like, you don't have to nobody has to do any of that. They can just come here and go, right? It's already laid out. So to me, this is the only choice. And I think right now, this is a great opportunity for our profession to shine like never before. I've had probably, and not exaggerating, over 300 conversations in the last few weeks with people that are all network marketers. And some of them have got their head in the game and they're seeing results like never before. They're seeing a level of openness like they've never seen before. And then some of them are spun out, right? I mean, the reality is there's people that, there might even be some people here that are still kind of like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. What's going to happen? And you're caught up in that stuff. And that's not helping you. The people that are keeping their head in the game, like I'd literally just finished another hour-long training right before I came in here. And these guys, I think they're at like month 3 in their company. They had a booming month. I mean, they did, I think, double and a half what they did in March. And they just recently, joined this new company. They asked me to come in and do a training for them. And what's also interesting, I got to share this with you. The last few weeks, I've had people reach out to me like 2.5 weeks ago. My buddy David reached out to me, who is, he was in my downline like 20 years ago in a company, and he's gone on to have a very successful real estate career. And so he's been, he lives in Northern California, and he's done really well for himself. Like he learned a lot of good stuff through network marketing, got into real estate after his father passed away. And he's done really well. He sent me an email 2.5 weeks ago, and the email basically said, "Hey, Todd, hope you and the family are doing good. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, man, my real estate business is basically shut down. I need to get back involved in network marketing." And he just knows me as being like super connected. I'm probably one of the most well-connected people you're ever going to meet in network marketing. I'm not going to say I know everybody, but I know a lot of people. It's just my business to kind of know people in this business. So he reached out to me, and then last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, my friend Jason reaches out to me on text, and he was in my downline like 18 years ago. And he sends me this text. I'm not going to look it up right now, but he sent me this text. Hey, and he runs like this network of DJs. So he's really smart. Like he took kind of like the network marketing concept, and his company's not a network marketing company, but he basically has a network of DJs, and he does really, really well, like really well financially. But how many, like nobody's DJing right now. And so he sent me a text message. He goes, "Bro, I need to get back involved in network marketing." And then I got another funny story. It was March 8th. I came back from it was the last event that I did in Vegas. I got this girl that reached out to me. I have a training program where I teach people how to recruit professionals, realtors, insurance agents, mortgage people, salespeople. And it's been one of my top sellers for like the last 10 years. And she had gone through my course and sent me a text. I remember it was right after I got back from Vegas. And she said, "Hey, I just finished going through your whole training. I took notes. I'm about ready to implement this stuff. Would it be cool with you if I kept you abreast of my progress?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can, sure, no problem." So like every other day for like the last month, she has sent me text messages like, "Hey, reached out to 12, set 6 appointments, reached out to 9, set 5 appointments, signed up 2 people today, signed up 6, did this." And then it was last Friday, she sent me this text message. And when your phone is closed, you just see the top of the text. And the text just said, "small problem." And I was like, "Oh crap." So I open it up, and it says, "small problem. Everybody that I'm reaching out to is saying yes to me." And I texted her back. I said, "Yeah, of course they are, because everybody's sitting at home and they're not making any money right now, and they're figuring out what the heck they're going to do, and they don't know what to do. And you're an answer." She's like, "I'm having a blast with this." I'm like, "I bet you are." So, and I've had other phone calls from other people that have reached out to me that are looking to get back involved in network marketing. So if you just do the work, you're going to get the result. And what's interesting to me, and I'll do this with you guys. I know all your cameras are off, so I won't have you turn them on. But, when I was speaking for this group in Vegas, and I've done this on a lot of stages around the world, like there was I think there was maybe 3,000 people at this event. Most of those people from this company had come up from Central and South America. And I'm walking through the audience as I'm doing this training for this company. And I said, "Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you in the room here at this event," and I'm asking you guys this question too, how many of you here now with me today want to make enough money from this business where your life could depend on it? Like you didn't have to have a job or a second job. All your bills were paid for. Your kids' college funds were fully funded. Your cars were paid for. You weren't having to borrow money for anything. Like you had a flourishing life as a result of this business. I'm asking you that question. How many of you want to be in that position? You can comment. I'd love to hear. I think you can comment in the chat. And just if you can say yes or no. If it's no, that's cool. But I think most of you are probably yes. And so I asked that question. Of course, literally 100% of the hands in the room go up. I'm like, okay, cool. So let me follow up with this question. I said, how many of you up until this point are acting as if your life depends on it? And be honest with me. And like 90% of the hands in the room go down. I'm like, wait a minute. So you want your life to depend on it, but you're not acting as if your life depends on it. Do you see the mismatch there? It's like a total mismatch. I want my life to depend on it, but I'm not acting as if my life depends on it. Your life will never be able to depend on it until you act as if your life depends on it. I said, well, let's make up a situation, which actually the interesting thing is this has always been made up until now. So I said this to this audience. I said, well, what happens if you go home on Monday and you don't have no job. Your company goes out of business or they fired you or something, and you show up for work and the company's not even there. Or you don't have a job, and then you're trying to get a job and you can't get no job. And you can't find work, and you're like, oh my gosh, I literally cannot find any work. I can't borrow, I have no friends I can borrow money from, but you got this business that you're here for, right? You just spent $2-3 grand to fly up from Central and South America to be at this national conference. And you got this business that could provide for you if you showed up. How many of you, if that was the case, like if literally your life was dependent on it, would do things differently? And of course, everybody's hands go back up like, well, why aren't you already? Right? So what's weird is that's always been a made up situation, but like right now, that's like the reality for people. And so there's people out there that are having this awakening, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Then there's people in here in network marketing that are having an awakening, and they're going, oh my gosh, I've been in this thing for 2 years and I've been treating it like a hobby. Like, why didn't I just show up? If I had shown up, I would, and they're like kicking themselves in their rear end, right? They're kicking themselves in the butt going, man, I should have, would have, could have. Now, you can sit there and kick yourself and live in a state of regret. That's not going to help you. What is going to help you is kicking yourself in the butt once and getting your ass off of your chair and getting after it and getting to work. Not kicking yourself in misery and regret, but kicking yourself forward to actually do something. And I think I don't know what you're doing because I don't know you, but I can tell you right now, if you're active, you're seeing people that are open and they're receptive, and they're I'm not going to say 100% of the people are going to say yes to you, but if you're out there asking the question, hey, Bob, Todd Falcone, what's up? How you doing? Oh, we're hanging in there, blah, blah, blah. Catching up with the person. Say, listen, man, let's say I find out my friend Bob hasn't been working. He's like, I'm stressed. I don't know what the heck we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to be able to pay our rent, if we're going to make my house payment. I'm saying, listen, brother, I got to tell you something. I couldn't let you go without sharing with you what we're doing. My wife and I have been building a business for the last 9 months that we've done exceptionally well at. If I could show you a way to make money 100% from home without you having to leave your house in order to do so, is that something you'd be open to taking a look at? I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say who could say no to that? Not that you wouldn't get no's, but the percentage of yeses that you'll get now will be higher than you'll probably ever see in your network marketing career. But you'll never know until you ask. And there's something interesting. Like we've all heard the phrase, and it comes from the Bible: ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find. If you don't ask, you don't get. Right? If you don't ask somebody to take a look, nobody's going to take a look. So, and what's interesting is, even when network marketing 101 part A is don't prejudge people. Don't decide for somebody else whether they're going to do it or not. And so what happens though is our natural tendency, this is so normal, right? Human beings take the path of least resistance. That's just normal. And what people think is the path of least resistance is, okay, I got started in this business. I'm kind of unsure of myself. I'm not really sure this is new for me. I'm going to go talk to my broke friends and family. Because it's like, oh, if my broke buddy blows me off. Hang on, I gotta take a sip of coffee. If my broke buddy blows me off, whatever. But if my super successful friend, man, if they blow me off, man, I don't know if I can take that. What if they rejected me? And honestly, I don't even think there's rejection in network marketing, because we're not asking anybody out on dates here, just so you know. We're just asking somebody if they're open to taking a look at something that could change the quality of their life. And honestly, if you look at what we do in network marketing on a technical degree of difficulty scale, one is laying on the couch, which dudes are pretty good at that, right? We can just lay on the couch with the remote. My wife's like, what channel are you watching? I'm like, all of them. Some of you guys know, you can relate to that. My wife's like, just pick a channel. And 10's doing brain surgery, which I think is probably more difficult than laying on the couch. Network marketing is probably about a 2 in terms of technical degrees of difficulty. I mean, think about what you do. What do you get to do every day? Not what you have to do, what you get to. Go introduce an amazing product that can change somebody's life, and an amazing business that can change the quality of their life if they decide to do something with it. And that's the thing. That's like a position to be coming from, where Like that confident belief position is your strength. Like if you look at the profession of network marketing, what is it, like $183 billion a year globally? I think 100 million people around the world are involved. About 17, 18 million people in the US are involved in direct selling in one way, shape, or form. I mean, you can't sit there and go, network marketing doesn't work. There can't be that big of figures and be denying it. Yet there are so many people that are involved in network marketing that are afraid to even admit that they're involved in network marketing. Like, okay, in fact, let me do this. If you ever have the opportunity to bring up your business or your product, like you and I are chatting, I'm thinking in my mind, man, I'd love to put you in my business. And you're telling me, for example, you're saying, I'm not working right now. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm thinking, I got to introduce you to my business, but then I don't segue and say, hey, Robert, look, I haven't even talked to you yet or haven't had a chance to get to you yet, but I've got this amazing business my wife and I have been doing that's 100% home-based. You don't have to leave your house in order to do it. And I can show you how to start making money immediately. Is that something you'd be open to taking a look at? If you don't do that, when it was here, right at that moment, you need to stop yourself and go, what was the predominant thought or feeling which caused me to not act? You really need, in other words, if you have the opportunity, yet you pause or hesitate in the moment of that opportunity that's presented in front of you, that opportunity to segue the conversation into, and you have the power to do that because you control the conversation, and you don't, then you're dealing with some type of disbelief issue. Because if you were in the state that I'm in, you talk to anybody, anywhere, at any time without hesitation, you would never pause, you would never hesitate. And that's a position I would love to see every one of you in. That's the strength position to be in. And, and look, even guys like myself, I don't proclaim to be perfect. I'm so far from perfect. I used to hear, I'd spend the next half an hour telling you about all my problems. You guys don't want to hear about my problems, but everybody's got problems regardless of what your net worth is or how successful you are. And I remember I met this guy, Randall, we talk about don't prejudge people, right? So in 1997, I was at this men's Bible study in Pacific Grove, California. And I meet this guy, Randall. And we were both wearing golf attire. And I'm like, you tee it? He goes, yeah. He goes, you must too. I'm like, yeah, well, let's play. So we started playing golf together. And we played over 9 years. I probably played golf with Randall no less than 500 times. I lived in Pacific Grove, Pebble Beach area, and just played a ton of golf. In fact, I'm playing golf right after this. And I was very successful in network marketing, which is why I could play golf 4 or 5 days a week. And he was rich, very, very rich. He married into a lot of money and he just had a ton of money. And I never said anything about my business to him. He knew I was involved in network marketing, but I never asked. One day, Randall calls me up and he says, hey, Todd. I'm like, what's up? He said, do you know Everett such and such? And I go, yeah, I know that dude. He goes, yeah, well, he's on your 6th level. I'm on your 7th. Why didn't you tell me about this? And I think my first response was like, I don't know. I'm stupid. I'm like, honestly, bro, I just didn't think you would do it. You're worth so much money. I figured you don't need it. He goes, no, I don't need the money. You're right. I don't need the money, but I'm bored. And I think I can help some people with this. And so here's this very successful friend of mine, probably financially wise, the highest net worth friend of mine that was a buddy, close buddy, that I never asked to take a look. You have all these people in your warm market that you haven't even asked yet because you think because they live in the big house, they drive the nice car, or they've got this business or whatever that they wouldn't be open. Those people, even before this stuff took place, are definitely open. I find that successful people tend to be more open to opportunity the more successful that they become than less. And then what we do, I say we because I've done it, is we decide for them and then don't ask them. I decided for Randall, now he would never do network marketing. Next thing you know, fortunately he was in my downline, but I was it was a 7-level comp plan. So I made 1 level of commissions on him. And he should have been personally sponsored frontline by me, but that didn't work out because I was stupid. And I prejudged the guy. And so what I want you guys to do now is I want you to think about this, okay? Let me give you some actionable items, okay? So first of all, this is not the time to be shy. This is not the time to check out. or step down. It's a time to check in and step up. And, you know, I understand that we're in an uncertain time and some people are worried, and I get that. But I remember Dr. Wayne Dyer had this quote, all worry is a waste of time. And I thought about that when I first heard that probably 15 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where like worrying has ever like helped me out, or stressing out has ever like helped out the situation. And it's like right now we need to be warriors, not worriers. We need to be stepping up. We are a solution provider to all those people out there that either have never heard about network marketing, or maybe heard about it in the past but denied it in the past. Even some of your hard no's, people that have come to you with a hard no in the past and said, no, don't even talk to me about that thing. I'll never touch network marketing. I'd be getting back to those people and say, hey, John, remember when we talked like 9 months ago and you're like not at all interested in my network marketing business that I was doing? Just given all that's going on, brother, I got to give you at least one more chance to say no to me. I mean, if I could show you a way to make money from home without you having to leave your house in order to do it, you open it, at least taking a peek. You can take some of those hard no's and turn them into yeses. But again, you'll never get anything until you ask. So here's what I want you guys to do. First thing, number one, I don't know why I'll use this as just a goofy example. I guess I used it a few times and it just tends to work and it's kind of funny, but you're not going to leave your house today after we're done with this Zoom and go to your grocery store stark naked, wearing only a mask and some flip-flops. Even if you love being naked and it's 85 degrees and you want that vitamin D absorbing into your body and you love just walking around naked, you're not going to hop in your car stark naked with flip-flops on and a mask on and go to the grocery store, even if you like being without clothes. And it's for one reason and one reason only, because it's against the law. What's it called? Indecent exposure, right? I mean, no sane person is going to go to the grocery store naked, because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to be like, hey, cops, there is a person walking through the grocery store right now with a mask on and nothing else. That's it. Cops are going to be there. You're handcuffed. You're cold butt in the back of a cop car, and you're going to jail. So you won't do it, and you won't do it because it's the law. And I bring that up because you need to have laws in your life in this business. This is an unbreakable rule. And if I said nothing else, or you've heard nothing else that I've shared with you, hear this. If you make this following rule for yourself, you will never have a problem making money in this business. You'll never have a worry. You'll never have a wonder, is my check moving in the right direction? Your check will always be growing. And here's the new rule. Now, again, this is not a goal. A goal is something that you're striving to achieve with a specific timeline on it. Like, I want to be this position by this date. I'm willing to give this and give up this in order to attempt to attain that goal. You may or may not hit it. This is a law. Like, you don't ever leave your house naked. You don't ever finish your day until you've done X. And here's what the X is. I never, ever finish any workday until I've done X number of daily intentional reach outs for my business. That's not doing a Facebook Live and posting and praying, hoping somebody's going to respond to you. I'm talking about you text somebody, you call somebody, you reach out to somebody and say, look, I've got something I'm doing. I'd love to show you what I'm up to, or whatever your invite is. You call your realtor buddy and you say, look, John, listen, I know you're super successful in real estate. My wife and I have been building this business and I've been thinking about you. Listen, I got a question for you. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making any money outside of what you're currently doing as a realtor with Coldwell Banker, or whatever, whatever the peak interest question might be, right? And the number needs to be this, like, it needs to be something that forces you to stretch, but you can hit every single day. So like 1 and done isn't a good number. Just so you know, 1, like I could leave here, go do an invite, and then be done for the day, and then just go take a nap for the rest of the day. Like, especially with all the time that we have on our hands. I don't know what the number is for you. 5 a day, 10 a day. I'm pretty confident that you could easily do 5 invites a day. And what if that was like your only, like that's my law. I never go to bed until I do 5 reach outs or 10 or whatever the number is for you, but it has to be something you can hit. Like, I run a 12-week accountability program that I've been doing since 2008. I've got 566 people in this one. And this kid and we, in the first week of this thing, I'm like, pick a number. Like, what's your number that you're going to live up to, not lip, but you're going to live up to every single day. And this kid said 50. I'm like, oh, I love big thinkers. 50. So you're telling me that never will a day pass until you've done at least 50 reach outs for your business? Like never, ever a day. Like every single day that you show up for your business, you're going to do at least a minimum of 50 reach outs. Are you sure that's the number you can hit every single day? Because I want to be clear with this, with you guys. This isn't something that you're shooting for. This is a law. This is the minimum. And he's like, oh, I guess I need to adjust my number. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you might want to adjust your number significantly. So I don't know what the number is for you. It's based on the amount of time that you have available to build your business. But I think 5 to 10 hours or 5 to 10 reach outs is achievable for every single person, even if you're part-time. So let me ask you this. What if over the next 365 days, you reached out to 5 new people every single day to invite them to your business, minimum? It would be impossible for you to fail. You couldn't, even if you don't have any skills, you couldn't fail if you just did the work. See, the crazy thing is there's so many people in the business that just don't do the work. They think they're in the business, but they're really not in the business. Like I remember this phone call so vividly, and I'm sure some of you had people on your team come to you and they go, oh, the business just isn't working out for me. It's just not happening. Like, and I guarantee you, if you haven't had that happen yet, you'll have somebody on your team that comes to you and they're going to say, it's just not working. Here's what you do with those people, by the way. From now on, this is what you do. If you came to me and your name was John and you said, Todd, the business isn't working out for me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, cool. Before you go, let me just ask you a question. What would you like how many people would you say that you've reached out to like in the last 90 days to, share this product or this business with people? Just give me like you don't have to give me the exact number, but I mean, what would you say it is? And I guarantee you the response is going to be, well, not enough. Wait a minute. So you're quitting the business and you're mad at the lack of results from the work you never did. That's so common. So they're talking, they're saying like the business isn't working out for me. You know who network marketing works for? The people that work it. That's who it works for. And I track all of my revenue producing activity. I have this thing called the Fearless Networker Prospecting Partner. I actually made this for me. We sell it on my site, but I made it for me, not for other people. I literally log, and you can see this. This is just from the last couple of weeks. I log every single bit of business building activity. These are phone calls, text messages, Facebook conversations. This is just in the last couple of weeks. Okay. And then you can see that's completely filled out. I think it's about 25 per page. So I log every single bit of business building activity because I got to hold myself accountable. So I can look at this. And if you said to me, if you were my sponsor, for example, and you said, hey, Todd, how many people did you reach out today? I can look at my day. And I said, I did 17 reach outs today. Not like, oh, I don't know. Because this is a business where you have to have some level of accountability. You got to have some level of responsibility. So I want you guys to get with your enroller, your sponsor, whoever that person is, and tell them what your number is. And say, I'm going to commit to X number a day. And then you have to live up to it. And going back to the naked example, you won't do that because it's a law. So if you create this law in your life, I promise you'll never have a problem. This guy called, let me just reiterate something. So this guy calls me October 15th of 2016. I remember the date. And this is I've had this happen a bunch of times, but this one I just remember. He calls me up and he's like, hey bro. And he sounded like all depressed. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, what's good out there? And when somebody calls me and they say, what's good out there? They're asking me what's hot, I'm like, hey, before we get to what's good out there, let's talk about you, man. You sound like you're down. What's going on? And he said, well, my business isn't really working very well. I'm like, well, he's still with the same company? I met this guy on a cruise ship, a long time ago. I said, how long have you been with them now? He's like, 10 years. I'm like, 10 years. And they're a very successful company. I said, okay. So remember, it's October 15th, 2016. I said, let me ask you a question. Before we go to what's good out there, let's talk about you just for a second. I said, how many people have you personally enrolled in 2016? He goes, well, how many total people have joined my team? I'm like, if you're calling to get my advice, you already know me that I'm very straightforward. I said, don't not answer the question. You're asking me for help and you're not going to answer the question. I won't help you. How many people have you personally enrolled in 2016? Now remember, it's 10 and a half months into the year. He goes, well, you know, probably like 4. All right. So now I already know the answer. He's not even in the business. You can't, none of you can tell me that enrolling 4 people in 10 and a half months is being in the business. That's a joke. I go, okay, well, let me ask you this. So you've been in there how long again? I said 10 years. I said, how many people would you say you've enrolled in 10 years? And he said, well, I don't know the exact number. I said, give or take. I mean, what's the number? Is it closer to 500? Is it, what's the number? He goes, well, I probably sponsored in 10 years about 40 people. I'm no math major, but 40 people in 10 years is a joke. It is. It's like maybe 4 people a month times 12 months a year, 40 people a year times 10 years, 400 people over that to me seems like, you know, more realistic for somebody who's in the business. My last question was, okay, I got to ask you this. So you're full-time, right? You don't have you have any other stuff you're doing? He's like, no, I'm full-time. I'm like, okay. You don't have another business, side business? You don't have anything else? Nope. I said, how many hours would you say that you put on and in your business on a weekly basis? On average, like what would you say? I mean, time into the business, like, you know, actual work into the business. And he's like, well, I probably average like, I don't know, like 10 or 15. And I'm just like, oh, wait, like you're sitting here complaining about how bad how bad the results are. You're not even like in the business. You're full-time, but you're 10 to 15 hours a week doing what? Not recruiting, not putting customers in. Because you put 4 people in this year in 10 and a half months and you put 40 in 10 years. I said, bro, the answer is not in another company. The answer is in the mirror. I said, I'm not going to give you another company. You need to step up. And it's like, I mean, if he was in a dog, maybe I would give him some advice, but it's like the company he was in, I know people absolutely flat crushing it over there. I'm like, if other people are crushing it over there, you're just not showing up. If you show up and you do the work, you get the result. Okay. So I want you to pick your number. And number 2, and I think this is really important, especially now, is like, I don't know how many, if you haven't read this book, you need to buy this book and like now and go get it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a great book. In that book, Stephen Covey tells a story, and the story goes like this. This guy's walking through the woods and he stumbles across this lumberjack, and he sees this lumberjack and he's like, this lumberjack's got this big manual saw and he's trying to cut through this tree. And he's like sweating and you can tell he's exhausted and frustrated, and he's not making, it's like he's not even cutting into the bark. Like he's not making no progress, and you can see he's frustrated. Guy comes up and he taps on this guy's shoulder. He says, excuse me. He said, I can't help but notice, I've been watching you, but you know, there's no teeth on your saw. And the lumberjack's sitting there sawing away. And he goes, I'm just too busy sawing to sharpen my saw. It's like, how many of you guys have ever been in a kitchen and you take out a knife and you're like cutting a tomato with a dull knife, and you're like sawing through with a knife in a tomato and it won't even break the skin. You've probably all done that. And you're like, okay, but then you sharpen the knife and it's like, you get better results because you're sharper. Your knife is sharper. In this case, what I'm referring to are your skills. Because like you'll make up numbers when you start, what you lack in skill, but you got to be working on your prospecting skills, your recruiting skills, your team building skills, your leadership skills, your how to do this business stuff skills, right? And now more than ever, what you're feeding this means it's always is critical. But I don't know. I mean, like, again, I don't know you, but I know the situation that we're all in, and there's no way that you haven't like had some dull or down days. I don't care how positive you are. There's definitely been days you're like, man, this is getting old. And so feeding your mind the mental nutrition that it needs for you to like, you know, work on the skills, on the know-how, on the ability. Like, I mean, if you saw me when I first started in network marketing, I sucked at it. I was nervous. I was scared. I was bad. I couldn't recruit anybody, but I wanted to get good. So I started to invest in myself. I started to attend seminars and events. I started to read books. I started to purchase audio training programs. I still do it to this day. Like anytime I got free time, I'm listening to something that's growing me. I don't have all the answers. I don't have every single answer. But I'm always seeking to grow. Elizabeth, the book I referenced is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So now being stuck at home, you need to be investing time every single day, sharpening your saw and working on your skill sets. Now, I mean, I've got like, I have spent the last 15 years training independently. And I took what worked well for me in the field and I started producing training programs that taught different aspects of building this business. So, I mean, I'm not saying you got to listen to me, but you got to do something that's growing you. There's a, and I wanted to, I talked to Michael about this before I popped on here. I think like you reaching out to high level people should be part of what you're doing. Like what's your objective here? Your objective is to build a team of people that can do what we do, have the desire, the willingness, the capacity to go after it and roll up their sleeves and go do it. And I discovered a long time ago that successful people, who've had a proven track record of success, their past history is a pretty good indicator of future stuff. And so I started recruiting realtors, insurance agents, mortgage people, small business owners, people that run charities, people that are highly influential people. And it became really my preferred way of recruiting outside of what I was doing in my own warm market and in my warm market. I have a training webinar that you guys can, I'll type it in here. You guys can access it sometime over the weekend, or it runs every 15 minutes. I think it runs daily every 15 minutes. I don't know if my team's got it set up, but you can catch it. It's toddfalcone.com/pros, PROS. And in that training, I actually teach you how to recruit. What'll be really interesting for a lot of you is I'm going to open up your eyes and you're going to realize, holy smokes, there's so many missed opportunities that are like underneath my nose, literally, that you're not even seeing as opportunity. And so I guarantee you that in and of itself, I'm going to open up your mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that as an opportunity to grow my business. I never even thought about it. I don't have the time to get into that example, but if I did that live example, and I give that example in that training, it's about an hour long. I would definitely have a notepad and pen. You can check that out if you'd like. And it runs, like I said, I think every 15 minutes on the hour.
What is that again, Todd? Can you get that out one more time?
Yeah, it's toddfalcone.com, TODDFALCONE.com/pros, PROS.
Done deal.
So you can scope that out, and you're going to get a lot from the training. I'll tell you this, at the tail end of that training, I do make my recruiting professionals course available. You can figure out whether it makes sense for you or not. But even if you don't get the course, you're going to get a lot out of the training, and it's going to make you think differently. And then for the rest of you that have not been exposed to me, this is my book, Fearless Networking. We've sold over 450,000 copies of it now, which is crazy. Easy read, 108 pages. Just so you know, over 400,000 copies of a book in network marketing is a lot of copies. You can get it for free on my website. If you just go to toddfalcone.com, it's right on the front page. You just pay shipping and handling. It's $9.95. We'll ship it out to you. And this is a really powerful training tool, and it's very fundamental. Look, you can devour it in a day, and from the front cover all the way to the last page is 100% usable how to be more successful in network marketing content. So you'll see that on my website at the front of that page at toddfalcone.com. But look, guys, it's not the time to be sitting idle. This is the time for us to go shine. It's a time for us to expand the network marketing profession like we've never expanded it before. I think we need to do it in a classy, tactful, professional manner, which we should always be that way. You don't want to be running around saying, I told you about this business 9 months ago. Now you're not working. You should have done it. I don't think any of you guys would do that, but it's certainly important that we do things with tact and with class. And I mean, one of the reasons I do what I do is to level up how people do network marketing, so that when people hear network marketing, they go, oh, which one are you in? I definitely want to do network marketing, rather than, oh, network marketing. No, I don't want to do that. So I think when we train people effectively and we help people understand how to do things the right way, the image of our entire profession is uplifted. And that happens with you starting as an individual and then us collectively doing things in a professional manner. And I'm very, very dedicated to helping people do things in a professional, smart, classy, tactful way. So anyhow, pick your number, get with your sponsor, make sure you're sharpening your skills. Now's the time to step up. Make sure you live up to that number, that you don't just lip it. And I can guarantee you your check will love you for it. So again, Mr. Accurso, thank you so much. Jason, great to see you as well. I appreciate the opportunity of sharing with your group today. You guys have an amazing Saturday. And I think, I know, Michael, you had asked me if I could take a couple questions. I'm certainly willing to take a few questions if we got them before we split. So I'll let you.
First of all, folks, how blessed are we to have the great Todd Falcone. Didn't charge me a dime. He said, Mike, I'm there for you. I'll tell you what, folks, I took notes. I'm ordering the book right now. I'm going to buy books for some leaders and give it away. We're going to have a contest. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to step my game up. I need to do more. I know Phil does the most calls of anybody on our team, and he does it every day. I know one day he did over 70. But, folks, I'm going to step up. I can't do what I don't ask you to do. I got to do it first, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to kick my partner Peter in the butt. He's going to do it. I'm going to challenge all my leaders. And mute the line just for a second, Jason. Let's all give on 3 Todd Falcone a big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate it.
Wow. Good job, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a blessing.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Guys,
God bless you.
thank you. Have a great day.
Thank God
for Todd.
Okay, Mike, you're back. You got to unmute yourself. I muted everybody out, but we could do, Todd, if we appreciate some questions and answers, that'll be fantastic. Fantastic training. Hey guys, everybody taking notes. I got my notes and I'm signing up for your course, and you always need to keep sharpening that axe. Absolutely. So Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you. And if we want to ask the questions, team, if you want to ask the questions now, you can just unmute yourself and then mute yourself back out after the question. And Todd, we appreciate your time. Fantastic.
My pleasure.
We got a couple questions. Todd's got that golf game. I know Brother Lavelle had a question and Majay, but I don't know if Phil or anybody. But if you do, we've got the great Todd on now. I know he's got that golf game waiting.
Hey, Todd, in quarantine?
Yeah.
Hey, playing. Is that an essential business right there? Golf? Come on.
It has been. I live on a golf course and they never closed it. So yeah, it's essential.
Essential. Got it.
Hey,
Go
Todd,
ahead, Lavelle.
Lavelle Scott, and hey, my friend, how are you?
Hey, Lavelle, how you doing?
Wonderful. Great training, brother. Really, I don't have a question, but I just typed in there that consistency is the key to success. And you hit it right on the nose, that everybody really has to set their goals and commit to that. And also to let everyone know that repetition is the mother of all learning. And that's why we teach people, you got to show up to blow up, you know, and you got to give up to go up. Just like you said, if you're not willing to sacrifice anything, guys, a year from now, you're going to be in the same place. We like to say, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. For things to change, you got to change. So guys, we got to stay on these calls. You got to invite people to these calls. Invite. Because a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So Todd, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you very much. And God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lavelle. I appreciate that.
Hey, I got a question, Todd.
Yes, sir.
When you're making your list, like, you know, I say, listen, I've gone through my warm market. I hit presidential. Give us some keys when you get blocked. Do I go start calling, realtors that I don't know? Give me a few tidbits.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I mean, if you've legitimately worked through your center of influence and you can say, look, I look at my phone and I've talked to everybody on my phone and brought this up to them, which very few people can actually say that. They'll look at their phone and they'll be like, I've never even talked to that guy or gal. Then you need to be doing things where you're connecting with new people. I think we always need to be in a lead generation state. If I was sitting at home and let's say Facebook didn't exist, for example, and I needed to talk to somebody, I mean, I could pick up the phone. I could find a realtor in Dallas. I could find a mortgage professional in St. Louis. I could find a personal fitness trainer in Illinois. I could just Google and go find those people. And if I had to, and I've done a lot of cold market recruiting, I could keep myself busy and never be sitting at my home twiddling my thumb. So especially now with everybody on lockdown, you can't go to like meetups and networking groups, at least at the moment. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing is at home. And I think, if you just get creative and you think, okay, well, if I needed to talk to somebody, where could I go find somebody? Some of you guys are, most of you guys are probably on Facebook. I would be definitely utilizing Facebook as a means of connecting with people and reaching out to people, getting involved in groups that that you have a sincere interest or genuine curiosity in. Like for example, I love fly fishing. I love skiing. I love playing golf. And, maybe you're a vegan eater or a vegan cook. Well, go get into a vegan group and be a valued contributor in that group. That'll connect you with a lot of people that you wouldn't otherwise be connected with. I mean, I go a lot deeper into that on maybe another training, but you've got to always be doing something where you're growing your list. And I would first look at your phone and be honest with yourself. Like how many people, I don't think very many people have actually really gotten through everybody that's on their phone. But if you have, you're not stuck. You can still, Facebook in and of itself is a great resource just for you to be able to connect with a lot of people. So I wouldn't worry about it.
I said that tongue in cheek because you can't ever go through your warm market.
No,
I knew
it's always
Todd
good.
knew where I was going. But folks, everybody get that book. I'm ordering now. Let's get Todd back. Let's get Todd wanting to come back, folks. Todd, have a great golf game.
Hey, Mike.
Appreciate you. Peace
Hey, Mike.
and love to your whole family. Go ahead, love.
Hey, team. Check this out. Also, what I do.
Mention the contest too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, guys. What I do is I call my team and call about 5 or 10 of their friends. You never run out of warm market. If you recruited a couple of people, say, hey, let's call a couple of your friends. Send them to a 3-minute video, and then answer their questions or get you upline on the call with them. Okay, guys? And everybody, Zoom is free. You get 45 minutes. You can do Zoom your own self. Take ownership. Get your team's list out and call everybody that raises their hand that wants to do this business and say, let's call 5 friends a day. And then if you get one person to sign up, get their list with them and call 5 friends and keep going after it. And you just keep digging down, drilling down. And guys, you'll see a year from now, you're going to be like, man, so happy that you did.
All right. Well, let's let Todd hit his golf game. Todd, we respect your time. Thank you again. Appreciate your training, your insights, and transferring your wisdom and enthusiasm to our fast growing team here at LifeWave. So fantastic. All right, everybody. Todd, take care.
Hey, Jason, mention
buddy.
the contest.
Yeah, no, we're just letting Todd go. We can keep going.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Todd,
Todd.
did you see Todd's schedule? Come on, man. I mean, come on.
We'll see you guys.
All right, thanks. All right, fantastic. Lavelle, do you want to go over the contest Mike's running? Or Mike, do you want to go over it? You're on the line. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm losing my voice. I got to gargle real quick. Lavelle, take it.
Okay, hey guys, so Mike and Peter LeBerry are running a team contest. Whoever recruits the most people and helps them get binary qualified, that means helping them put one on the left and one on the right, all right? Whoever does that does the most of recruiting and helping them get binary qualified, you will win a all expense paid trip to Vegas when Vegas opens back up, all right? You get flight. You get a limo from the airport to the hotel in 3 nights and 2 days. And the second place will also get a 3-night, 2-day stay in Vegas, but you have to get there on your own, second place. And I think Mike is working on giving you some spending change while you're there as well. So guys.
Yes, we are.
I have a question about that, Mike.
Okay.
Can it just be 2 personals or do they have to be on the right and the left?
No, doesn't matter. No, they have to be qualified, Phil, left and right. We're trying to get people qualified to earn commission.
Okay, left and right. Got it. And those I did post it up. All the rules or everything are up on our team site. The link is in the in the chat. If you're not part of that team site, let's do that real quick. Be part of that and join the team, and that's where we do communications. I want to cover, guys, we're talking about prospecting, and Todd gave some very, very valuable information on how to do it. And I want to give some thanks. Last week, we launched our customer site. It turned out to be great, and I can tell you, one of the most powerful tools that you have is this site right here, okay? This is our Stem Cells for Health. This is a powerful way to use the ATM system, okay? Add, tag, and message. Some of you are doing a fantastic job with it. The way you do it is you simply just add somebody to it. First, I would message them. I'd send them a quick message. Hey, Lavelle, I wanted to introduce you to a stem cell technology. I think you'd have a great interest in it. Something very simple like that. I've sent him a message, and then I'm going to add Lavelle into that group. And then Lavelle's going to accept that. It comes up in the notifications. So I've added him, and now I want to tag him. And this is the video that I would tag Lavelle. This is an admin video. You see it's the first one right here under announcements. This is our 3-minute product video. And you can see down in here, real quick, you can see down in here, here's an example of a guy that I met on Facebook in Malaysia, okay? I then tagged him, boom, I tagged him. Thanks for joining the group. Please watch this X39 technology video. So that's what I sent to him. I tagged him, and now he started to respond to it. And this is another lady in Malaysia that I tagged. So I'm doing this, and I want you to do this with all of your prospects. This is a fantastic way. Now this guy's, asking me some questions, and I said, hey, I'll DM you, and I started a private conversation with him. But that's a message that I have, and that's a way of doing that. So we add, we tag, and we message. And I want to let you see what I see, guys. This is our members, and we can see how the group is growing. We can look at insights of what we're having, and I want to give some recognition to some people that are really doing some great job with this and taking advantage of it. This is our top contributors to this page. And I would encourage you to have the discipline. If you ask me one thing that you need to have to build a successful business, to be an entrepreneur, not to be an employee, to be an entrepreneur, there's a big difference. An entrepreneur is you are your own boss. You have to have discipline. You have to set your own schedule. You have to set your own time. You have to decide what you're going to work on. You're going to decide what you're focusing your efforts on. And these are the people that are doing the best right now that I look at. And you can see the guy that's on the camera right now. Lavelle, your team is fantastic. You got the #1 position. I'm hoping someone knocks you off that #1 position of being active on this.
Homie don't play that. Homie don't play that.
See, he likes that, but he's made 3 posts, he's made 6 comments, okay? Then we have Jeanette, we have Christy, we have Deb, we have Damon down in Australia. Actually, him and Sunette actually came up with the idea. Cindy, there's Cindy, she's there. Then we got Kevin, we got Barbara, we got Joy, and then we got Nikki. These are our top contributors right now being active in this. Now, if I told you this is the most powerful marketing system you could use on Facebook, you need to be active on it. It is powerful. Lavelle, it's working for you, right? Your people are getting response. They're getting excited. Lavelle, you're the #1 guy. Tell me, how is this helping your team grow right now?
Well, I make sure that my whole team has this, and I tell them that they can go watch it again. And I just tell them, look, this is what I do is I listen to you guys, and then I take that same training and pass it on to my team. That's what I do. And then my teams just start actively going after it. But the name of the game is that you just got to start doing. We call it fail your way to the top. Everybody's not going to join you, but they are paying attention. And we keep dripping on them. And the name of the game is prospecting or recruiting is not an event, it's a process. And you just have to keep in that process, just keep putting people in, and eventually people will say, hey, give me more information. And that's when you get, and I like to teach also, Jason, guys, third-party validation is everything. You gotta get people, other people involved in your business and helping you recruit or prospect your guys, because if you're not doing that, you're missing the boat. It's everything. Get someone else involved in your business. Have somebody else on the three-way.
You see right here, here's an example of tagging someone. Here's Sunita. She's down in Malay, she's down in Australia, part of our team, and she's tagged. Here's a testimony on skin and wrinkles, okay? Here's a great testimony. So now she's tagging these people. And you can see the tags, they're gonna go up in their notifications. This is a great way to continue your follow-up process. Understand the fortune is in the follow-up. People need 3, 5, 7 touches. Don't think you're gonna tag them one time and they're gonna sign up and, oh, I'm ready to go. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen, yes, but it doesn't happen very often. You've gotta keep in front of them. They've gotta have something that relates to them. And so you have your prospects, your key people that you're working with, and you're tagging them. Here's, then people respond to it. But guys, these are great testimonies and a powerful tool to talk to people about the product and to make easy contacts. I was up at 6:30 this morning teaching one of our directors in the Philippines how to use this. She's like, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. Are you using the ATM system? She's like, what's the ATM system? I go, you're not active on our team site. Get active, watch the post, watch this training. So I sent it to her and I walked her through it. She got 2 people on and she got a new customer already today. But now she's like, oh, I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna master this. And I can tell you, we're all at home. You have the ability to master this. If you master it, have that become one of your skill sets. Have that become one of your laws in business. Take 30 minutes of your entire 24 hours, and I'm gonna focus in on this. I'm gonna create enthusiasm, and I'm gonna create energy, and I'm gonna tag people, and I'm gonna invite people. I'm gonna use that system. I'm gonna become very good at it, so it's easy, and these numbers are gonna increase. And I told Lavelle when we launched this, I go, yeah, my first goal is 10,000. And he's like, man, we gotta go for 20,000. And imagine when you invite a prospect to this, and they see 20,000 people on the site. Do you have any idea of the impact that will have? I was just on the call with Africa. We got a new lady in, she's excited, she's getting in, and guess the first thing I did? I got her on both of these sites, and now she's going through this and listening to testimonies and asking questions, and she's getting excited. Utilize this powerful marketing tool. Please, we've done so much work to put this together. Utilize it and make it happen for you. All right?
Hey, Jason.
Yeah, buddy.
I would also encourage everybody, get your workout partner. Get your workout partner and say, hey, let's do this together. Because it's easier to get started when you got somebody else. You're holding them accountable and they're holding you accountable. Yeah, let's do this. You do 5 today, I do 5 today, and to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We call it plan, do, and review. So get a workout partner, guys.
All right, guys, I'm going to unmute everybody. Let me turn the recording off.